Bonsai! I'm Steve Covino, and I have one question for you. Are you Team Miyagi-Do or Team Cobra Kai?
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't mind if I do.
Covino and Rich. Are you ready?
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
You heard all that on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Turn it up. We're doing the show. Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
Good day, Covino and Rich. Welcome to our So Hot Right Now interview special.
Is it so hot that your bat wing sticking to your thigh?
But that's not what this is about. It's people we interviewed, right? That you may have forgotten about. May have forgot we had this interview, but they're so hot right now. Maybe
And your balls are hot.
And my balls are hot, but maybe it's the CNR effect, right?
Double entendre.
Come and hung out with us, and now they're superstars all over again. Covino and Rich, get ready, buckle up for our CNR special. Let's go.
Now, hard not to laugh at what Spot played at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
The fun fact that you said before is that was the last day we were on ESPN television.
That
the
was
last
that was
appearance. You're fucking Daniel LaRussa, and I'm wearing a blonde wig as Johnny Lawrence.
That was the last time we were ever on Now or Never. That's how we said goodbye. I know. How embarrassing is
Why
that?
do you look like Hulk Hogan instead of Johnny Lawrence?
the last frame of me on ESPN was in a blonde wig.
So embarrassing. And we do that because our first interview, looking back, is with one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Ralph Macchio. I always liked him from the outsider days. I thought he was a cool kid. He was one of the first kids that I thought maybe looked a little like me growing up, you know, like, hey, I could be like a karate kid, I guess. I don't know, because there was no representation. That's why.
Is that why you found Sensei Winklebean?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to be the karate kid?
I'll be honest, when we moved out here to Los Angeles,
I was born in Newark, New Jersey. LaRusso was from Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, the similarities.
I don't know. To me, I
I moved to LA.
I thought there would be more karate vibes here in the Valley based on what our childhood told us.
Palm
Right?
trees, Layla, palm trees.
I live in the Valley now, but I think one of our first
What's
interviews
wrong?
was, well, we interviewed him several times. Let's be clear on this. But I remember one time in particular, it was a weird moment because we were in the Opie and Anthony studio or something like that, right? It was like, it wasn't our normal studio.
Jim and Sam at the time.
Jim and Sam, whatever. And Ralph Macchio was there. Yo, what up, Ralph? We had met him a few times, but this time we talked about Cobra Kai, and he started talking about the new series on YouTube Red or whatever it was. And we're like,
RedTube?
RedTube.
Oh, wait, no, that's something else.
No,
That's something
YouTube
else.
Prime or
Something.
And you're like, oh, really? So this is the first time we heard about the actual Cobra Kai series, and we bring this up because, again, he's so hot right now.
I mean, not only is Cobra Kai coming back for its final season,
Exactly.
there's a movie.
Hold that thought, because the new season, the final season, comes out July 18th in 3 parts, 5 episodes in each part. So coming soon, the final season, season 6 of Cobra Kai. But where did you hear about it first? Right here on the show. So hot right now. Back in 2018, Covino and Rich with Ralph Macchio. There he is. Let's welcome back a guy I consider a friend of the show. Rich, I don't know. How about you?
Well, you felt so good when you heard in the hallway they're like, next is Covino and Rich, and he's like, I know those guys.
Yeah,
and,
it was.
and Covino's like, yeah.
All right, let's welcome back our pal, our super pal, the Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio.
What's up, man?
I'm up. How
Where's his mic? What?
Yeah.
Am I on?
There you go,
There we go. He's
There we
back.
go. Okay.
Yeah, man.
I'm good.
Congratulations on everything. It's been
Thank
a few
you.
years since we've seen you, man. Yeah, we're based out of LA now. So I see the Cobra Kai what's it called? The mural? What's it called?
Oh, the billboard.
Yeah.
I
maybe.
see them everywhere.
Yeah, I see them
there's
everywhere
like,
now.
there's more than
No,
one.
not even the billboard. The actual
the
spray
painting.
paint.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Have you seen
right.
the one in like the Tarzana
I haven't
area?
been there. I haven't. I'm heading out to LA next week, so
Yes.
I'll start taking a look at what they're doing. But yeah, it's launched and all 10 episodes are up, and everybody's really happy. It's very, very good. I'm very proud.
You must be excited, man. You should. First of all, you should be excited because you're in that club of what? Stamos, Rob Lowe, like guys that just don't age.
We're trying. We're trying.
Do you ever like see those guys, like guys like a Rob Lowe or Stamos, and say, we're in this
We're
like
in the
I
club,
don't
we're in the club.
age club.
Well, I did the Rob Lowe roast, Comedy Central roast, and I ripped into him pretty good because he's just too damn pretty. But and it's all good. You know, we'll take it. We'll take it. Why not? Considering the alternative, I'll hang on to it if I can.
on.
Exactly, yeah. I'm so excited about the Cobra Kai thing. We're going to talk about that. But you mentioned Rob Lowe, and I think of the Outsiders clan that you came up with.
Yeah.
When you got something big like this happening, do you hear from those guys? What's that camaraderie like still, or is it only when you see each other?
Sometimes you do. I mean,
Yeah.
I bump into see Thomas Howell and Matt Dillon on occasion, and
Yeah.
Rob I saw when I was roasting him, and he was roasting me because you do a roast, you get roasted.
Yeah.
Whether you're the guy or not, and so it's nice. I mean, the Outsiders is where it all kind of started for all of us.
Yeah.
And I read that book when I was 12 years old, and it meant an awful lot as a kid. And then to be in that movie was awesome. And I got to say the Stay Gold Pony Boy thing and die. It was awesome. I just blew it for the people
Not
who
like
never
this
saw the
guy,
movie.
you killed. I killed him.
I killed the Soaps. I killed the Soaps.
You killed him. Yeah.
I put Leif Garrett down. What can you say?
You did. And that was the start. So there's always some camaraderie there, right? I mean, that had to be a magical thing. Like, think about it this way. I don't know if it's something maybe you even take for granted, but imagine if you weren't a part of that, and all those other dudes were. You would have hated that.
Yeah, I guess so. Everybody wanted to be in that movie.
Right,
They
yeah.
really did. There's definitely a kindred spirit with all those guys. When we see each other, we know. And I even see Francis Coppola, who directed that film. I saw him about a year and a half ago. We did a talk back to a whole theater full of middle schoolers who read that book, and it's a great give back.
And then Karate Kid happens, and I guess your whole life changes. And we've talked about
Well, not
that.
only did he kill him, and then fast forward, I shot the clerk.
I shot the clerk.
I
Come on.
You know what? We talked about this recently on a side note. Karate Kid, I mean, that's one of the most magical movies of the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. But where does My Cousin Vinny place? Was that one of the
because
biggest
I feel
movies?
like we can't downplay how humongous that movie was.
Right. My Cousin Vinny is the late for dinner movie, is what I call it. Because if it's on and you have 7 o'clock dinner plans, and you're just going to be late for dinner.
You can't-
'Cause you
you can't
can't
stop.
stop
It's one of
watching
those.
it. It really has. I mean, the setups pay off beautifully. It's a great script. It's just a great script and a great performance by Joe, and obviously Marissa was just off the charts. Fred Gwynn,
Right,
some
right.
good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
It was great to be a part of. I got a couple of good ones there.
Yeah, you worked with Herman Munster.
Worked with Herman Munster.
That's so
That's pretty crazy.
It's
when
so
you
funny
think
because
about it.
that story goes like this. Like Joe was like, Pesci was like, he was a little on the fence with casting Fred Gwynn. He's like, yeah, I don't know. We see. I mean, people can see Herman Munster, and I'm like, yeah, but he's perfect for that. And you guys are like, just holding you in the same shot is funny because but everyone's gonna think the flathead, the Herman Munster thing, and I'd be like, yeah, I said, yeah, but everyone's thinking like wise guy with you and Karate Kid with me, so maybe it'll all be fine. And I think Joe was proud of Fred's performance, but at the upstart, I think he would attest to the fact that he was a little,
Yeah, a little apprehensive.
We're all typecast. If you're typecast, then at least you're cast.
Right.
So
That's a good
how you have
point.
to
You're
look
right.
at it.
Hey, when you think of some of the quotes that come out of the movie, a lot of unknown quotes. You're quoting every time we do identical. That's
Identical.
You
That's
do that
My
all the
Cousin
time.
Vinny. We do that all
It
the time.
is, it's
great.
Sometimes you forget the movies you quote in
quote
your
it. You don't
daily
know,
life,
yeah,
and
right.
that's one we use a lot.
Right.
What's the one we keep saying lately, Spot? You're a pushy old man, ain't you?
Oh yeah, that's
you're a pusher.
that,
I like that.
I like that. That's Sensei Kreese, the Darth Vader of the Karate Kid.
You know what's cool
film.
about that? It's like I must have seen Karate Kid. We all have, right? Everybody
Yeah.
listening has seen Karate Kid 1,000 times, right? 1,000 times. You show your kids now to see if it still holds up, and it does. You went home. Everyone watched it, went home, and was doing crane kicks and watched it. But you see those lines, those famous lines. You're a pushy old bastard. Bastard old man. What is it?
You're pushy old man, I think.
Pushy
Little
old
bastard, I think.
You're a pushy little.
Best-
what is it?
little
You're a
bastard.
pushy little
Maybe
bastard.
Little bastard. It's
I
amazing.
like that.
I like that. Not only did we watch it, but you saw it firsthand probably so many
Yeah,
times.
so many
Like,
times.
what's your memory of something like that?
It just played. I remember Marty Cove doing that scene, and he was
do?
very particular because he just come in. He was cast very late.
Right.
We were already shooting when they
John
were still
Kreese.
looking. John Kreese, right? And that scene was like his aria. You know, he was in his theater,
Right.
and he approached it that way. But it lent itself so much to that performance and the weight and gravity of how he played that role. It was fun.
Is it weird because we quote these things all the time, you know, almost subconsciously because we grew up with that. Do you quote your own things every once in a while because it was so close to you and connected to you?
Yeah, not too much.
Not too much. It doesn't
But
happen,
I recognize the good ones.
Right.
Yeah.
You Like do. you always. I mean, we live in California. We moved from the East Coast to California, and I mean, how many Karate Kid references? Like palm trees, mom. Like all the stuff like that. Daniel, what's wrong? Nothing.
You're right. You guys are hardcore. I hate this stupid bike.
Yeah,
I could only imagine.
Oh, it's the best. I love that shit. Stupid bike. It's the best. And here's what's cool about it. Like you said, typecasted. You know, these movies that you were a part of, they were so big and memorable. I can only imagine for all these years, you've had to talk about them over and over and over again, right? So
Thank
that's
God they're good movies.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
thank
But
God,
I
yeah.
guess it's a blessing and a curse, kind of, right?
Exactly.
Because
I
it
mean,
gets exhausting.
you have to look as you get older and wiser. You embrace it more because you know how rare that is.
Right.
You're gonna sign up. Would you sign up for something in 1983 that people are talking about in a relevant way, and it's meant something, has been inspirational to generations, and by 2018 you'd sign up for that any day.
Yeah.
That's a footprint that I could be proud of.
But that's why I think it's so cool that you signed up to relive this character
we-
again.
yeah.
because
I-
it's a risk, but a great risk to take.
I said no for 34 years,
Right.
man, and this was just the time. These guys, John, Josh, and Hayden, who wrote Harold and Kumar and Hot Tub Time Machine, which are very different tonally, but they knew how to write for now, a current young generation,
Right.
but yet, you know, not unlike you boys, they are the biggest Karate Kid fanboys. They know every frame. It's like Star Wars to them, and they wanted to show that respect and pay homage and uphold the legacy in a nostalgic, sort of beautiful way. And they've done that and yet created a nice, fresh next generation. You know, Karate Kid was very black and white, good and evil, where the Cobra Kai series, what is so refreshing about it, and the reviews and the fan reviews right now that have been coming back, is there's an allegiance episode to episode. You switch in who you're sort of rooting for because
Okay.
the characters are more gray. I mean, LaRusso, as great as he was as that underdog hero, as an adult, you're seeing some of his flaws, and he needs to right the ship and rebalance himself. He's a good-hearted guy, but you see his flaws, and Johnny Lawrence obviously was the bully of all time, and like what has happened to him as he tries to redeem himself, and so it's refreshing to see that fresh angle to a classic story.
I'm curious how much of that has to do with, since The Karate Kid came out, all the people that love to point out, hey, maybe Daniel wasn't the good guy after all.
Right.
I mean, did that come into play when you guys are writing this? Because you're like, you know what? There is an angle where Daniel isn't necessarily the hero all the time, and maybe Billy Zabka's character, maybe Johnny's a little misunderstood.
Right. Well, William Zabka would tell you exactly that he's completely misunderstood.
How did you like him on How I Met Your Mother?
It's great because
Fantastic,
I
right?
did one episode with him, and that speaks to the same concept. I mean, the Barney Stinson, where the real Karate Kid is William Zabka, not this olive skinned, Italian nerd from New Jersey. It started from there.
Right.
I think for the creators of the show, they were obsessed with the Karate Kid as little kids going to see it at 10 years old or however old they were, and they just were in love and infatuated with the Cobra Kai. Like, they drive motorcycles, they kick ass, they're so cool, they have all these great lines.
They strike first.
They strike first and they show no mercy.
Yeah.
My theory is the fact that people could be talking about it now and debating it with an illegal kick.
It's
whether-
great.
It's
Can
great.
you- what's
It's
your
awesome.
take on that? Because people do talk about
listen,
that.
it is no more illegal than the elbow he drives into LaRusso's
Which is what you
knee.
said in the episode.
Damn right.
I know, but
when you think
you
about
got
it.
a winning point for that, a kick to the face.
Yeah, well, listen, I think if it didn't happen, we wouldn't be sitting here or have a hit movie.
Right.
So I guess that's, I just did what the script told me to do. But here's, because the character before him, it was disqualified for attacking my knee. Meanwhile, he says, boom, boom, right into my knee. I go down, no point, no disqualification.
Right.
So I think I was. That's the green
You're
light.
fine. Hey, Spot,
That's
play the clip from How I Met Your Mother. Barney Stinson, Neil Patrick Harris, obviously giving the different perspective.
It's always flat. No! I hate Ralph Macchio. I hate him. Shut it, Ralph Macchio. Mike, you take that back, sir. I am nothing like Ralph Macchio. You take that back, madam. I am nothing like Ralph Macchio.
A little compilation of his hate for you.
Take that back, clown. I am nothing like Ralph Macchio.
That's so funny.
Shut it, Ralph Macchio.
It's great. I love that. I've put that up before. I think I got to put that up again.
That is funny.
It's just great. And Neil Patrick Harris just nailing it. You know, I remember when we were rehearsing, he was telling me, I'm sorry for all this, but he was looking for the different levels of how much he hated Ralph Macchio and how to do it with his, he's a talented comedian, man. That was great stuff.
What's one of the lines from the movie? I don't want to misquote the Karate Kid, but you put water on their head at the Halloween party. You say, hey, it's coming around, and you start the fight. So you're a bit of an asshole, and then they kick your ass, and they're like, you couldn't leave well enough alone.
That's
You
right.
couldn't leave well enough alone, could you? Right? You guys couldn't leave well enough alone with this. It's such a risk touching such a classic, right? You couldn't leave it alone. For 34 years you did. Was it the writers? Was it the money? Why YouTube Red? I want to know how it all went down.
Or the success of, let's say, Full House doing Fuller House,
Right,
or
right.
Boy Meets
Was
World
it-
doing Boy Meets Girl. Were you saying, well, if these other shows are doing it well, maybe? I mean,
Was
I have
there
a
a need for the reboots?
Yeah.
Is this the time? Like, we're all nostalgic for some
Right,
reason? Like,
right.
what was the motivation?
I think timing was big.
Yeah.
I believe timing's now. I don't even know if in 2 years it was right. You know, you look at the Will and Graces and the Roseannes of the world. When the content is great, there's a big, warm, comfort food hug of nostalgia, and we want to see where these people are. The YouTube Red, it falls in line with the streaming services where you can make a 5-hour movie and cut it up into 10 half-hour parts that people are watching. I mean, it broke at noon, and by 6 o'clock, it's like, I just watched it, I'm now watching it again. You know, I mean, it's just, people like that, but they want to watch it when they want it now. And so we didn't have that 10 years ago.
But you didn't have any, it had to cross your mind, like, I don't want to mess with such a classic.
For sure. That's why I was very protective for so long. These guys had a very clear vision, not unlike the Broadway show Wicked, that you enter through the Wicked, which is the West perspective, or a film like Creed that follows Apollo Creed's son, and that's how you meet Balboa years later. This sort of had that similar. It dealt with the issue of bullying and the difference in how it was in '84 and now with technology, how it is. How do you parent that? So it subversively dealt with themes in an important way, and then the fact that it would be sort of like a dual protagonist, dual antagonist concept. It just felt like the right time. I felt like if it wasn't now, it wouldn't happen, and I trusted it. It was very tough sometimes.
Right.
They were very. Open lines of communication. I would note up every script and be concerned about certain things. And you had to trust. It's so precious to me. I had to trust that these guys wanted to make the show that you guys would love to see.
Well, I'm so glad,
and they did.
And I wanted to ask you that again. Ralph Macchio is here, Cobra Kai, Daniel LaRusso from LaRusso Auto, is here because
who
he's
kicks
a big
the competition.
which, by the way, is hysterical.
And I was like, this is a little, and they're like,
No.
trust us. Covino and Rich are gonna love this.
Loved it. And you know what else we loved? The fact that you have the ability to have all these flashback montage scenes.
Yeah.
That adds
Yeah,
so much.
And a lot of new footage.
The rights to the footage, and
It's the same studio. So it was Sony, and which was Columbia Pictures. And the great part is there are shots that they were able to go back to the art, like the salt mines, and get the original footage of shots that are not even in the movie. So you could cut scenes a certain
really
way,
cool.
a different perspective. And it's like the crane kick when it hits Zapka. They go to this close-up shot that was from 1984, and then that was never in the movie. And
We
it
debated
changed,
that last
It
night.
changed the perspective from the low and wide shot that we all grew up with, was so heroic for LaRusso. Now all of a sudden it was like, wow, this guy got kicked in the face. So that's how it felt to him.
Yeah.
Where we all watched it as how great it was, a victory for day. And so it's very cool.
Let me paint a picture. Last night, we go out for a nice dinner. We get back to the Airbnb we're staying in together. And we're sitting, the three of us have a coffee, and we're close on a couch, watch watching on a laptop. The three of us snuggled together, and we couldn't stop. We had to stop watching because it was like 2 a.m.
Oh,
we just
God.
kept. I'm like, I want to go now, watch it now.
No.
We're 4 deep, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, and 5 is probably my favorite episode. So
Oh,
you're
okay,
right
great.
at the point, and then the ending, the climax is so good.
I still have so many questions about Cobra Kai, but there's a popular meme or something I've seen in the past few years that you're now older than
Yeah.
Pat Morita was when he filmed the movie. What's that
That's
like
been
for
a
you
while
hearing
now.
that?
Now I think Zapka now is older than Pat
really?
Morita.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely,
Does
it's
that
crazy.
bug you out?
It's I remember when that came up, and it was
You're like, holy shit.
everybody's like, you want to really feel like crap today? Look at this,
Right.
And people are sending that around. Yeah, listen, it's bound to happen at some point.
it's gonna happen to everybody.
And what are you gonna do? He was an amazing guy, and we're
Now,
not.
you gave him props in one of the episodes.
Yes,
I saw that.
throughout, and you'll see more of that in the next episode. It's really an homage to that, and listen, I'm not here without his performance in that movie. We're not doing Cobra Kai if it wasn't for Mr. Miyagi.
Balance.
Got to find it constantly.
Another show we love. You could sort of compare the characters. When you watch Billions, Damian Lewis
Yes,
and Paul
we-
Giamatti.
yep.
Sometimes you're like, do I like this guy or am I
Exactly.
rooting for this guy?
That's
But
exactly-
It's got that same vibe where you're like, yo, it's Daniel LaRusso. How could you not root for him? And you're like, yeah, but you know what? Johnny, he's trying hard with the dojo
Right, right.
He's
now.
got a
and
struggle. He's
got the struggle. Yeah, and then the relationship, I'll be honest, the whole second level of you with your daughter.
Right.
And we have young kids, but
Right.
to see the dad side of Daniel LaRusso is pretty cool.
Because he's it's struggling with how you trying to reach your kids.
And you felt bad for that girl in the cafeteria. There's so many like
There's a
That's
lot
all-
of great episodes.
You're right.
and
Current 2018 versus the early 80s.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
I was
we
fantastic.
mentioned how you pay homage to Pat Morita, to Mr. Miyagi. Now there's other references to Elizabeth Shue. Are there other cameos in
There's
the
nice
series?
Easter eggs
There
on the
is.
way, and more planned in the future. There's a lot of canon to pull from,
Yeah.
So you'll find some surprises this season.
Any other
and,
members from Cobra Kai?
I can't. I think today's the day we could start talking. I think there's a whole embargo on who pops up, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I could say yet because it's just out there.
Right.
But it's going to bleed out. If you're on the internet, you'll get it.
Last night we were laughing at the guy that says, "Put him in a body bag." I'm like, I wonder where that
So
guy is. Are we
No,
going to see him?
He's campaigning for a guest spot like they all are. And it's great. And listen, and the fans would love all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
You know what I loved as a fan of the Karate Kid and also a fan of one of the shows we love, the Goldbergs. I don't know if you ever watched the Goldbergs on ABC. They did a whole Karate Kid episode,
did.
which was amazing. I wondered if you watch it and get a kick out of it.
I
like,
did
yo,
watch it. I did watch it because I know Marty Cove did like the last little segment. They wanted. They came to me to do something in that, and we just sold this show, and I just felt I wanted to hold back on it. I wanted this show to be it's been just felt like the right move for me. But yeah, they've done a great job. I've signed off on allowing like posters or other things. You have to get your release to have a T-shirt or whatever, and they really peppered in. It really feels like that time.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And I wanted to ask you this. You said, when you have these things in mind, when you're doing the show, because you're so involved, you keep guys like us in mind. Who is it really for, too? Are you, you have a young son.
Mm-hmm.
Is he into it? Is that generation going to be into this?
I think so. And it was part of the pitch from the early get-go when we pitched this show is that, there are the flashback scenes that help inform. It's nostalgia for the people who know the movie, and it's information for the people who don't know the movie. And it was really important that this be a show that if you've never seen the movie, you're still involved in the complexity of characters in the story. If you've seen the movie, it's the icing and the cherry on top and the whipped cream and on top of that, So the goal is to, have a vast range of ages that are liking this show for many reasons because we have this great young cast. And a lot of how Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso come into play is through the storylines of the high school characters.
Yeah,
and that's really
great.
well orchestrated by the writers.
Based on the initial success, because I feel like, from what I'm hearing, anyone that's watching, we're talking about our buddy Spencer that books the guests around here.
Right.
Everyone that we talked to is saying
The
great
feedback.
things
When
and
we
love
said
it.
you were coming on, we were getting tons of feedback.
Already people, listeners, like, I'm like 5 episodes deep.
It's great.
Are we talking season 2 already? Are we getting the red light, the green
I
light
hope
soon,
so.
or what?
We don't. I don't have the official green light. We're counting on it, but you got to knock wood and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You never know. You know, it's show business. It ain't show art. We got to
Right.
wait for them to give the green light. I think based on the views in barely 24 hours and the groundswell of love we're getting from critics and fans alike, you would like to assume, but I've been in this too long to assume. You know, we'll
Right,
see.
right.
I'll be back if we're back. I'll be back anytime. You guys are so easy, man.
Thank
It's
you, man.
awesome.
when you
to be here.
saw the first episode when it was done, and I love how this show too. Every time the episode ends, it does have that awesome cliffhanger feel where you do want to binge watch.
Yeah,
this.
because they're
Right.
a half hour too, so you're like, let's bust out another
quick
one.
It's
watch.
a nice length
Yeah.
of time because your episodes are anywhere from like 25 minutes to 32 minutes, so it's a fat half hour as
Yeah.
opposed to the 22-minute sitcom length. You know,
I saw you throughout the first pitch of the Mets game the other day.
I didn't bounce it. That's the good news.
You and I are both Met fans.
Yep.
I think I have good news. I think DeGrom's fine. I don't know if you saw that. The injury he's fine.
Oh, he's fine. Everything's gonna be
Everything's
okay.
gonna be okay. Are you?
If not, he may have been in the rotation.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Do you still get a kick out of doing those things? Like
I love it, man.
right?
That's
the whole crowd
greatest.
probably went nuts. Like,
They were
here
great.
he
And
is,
Zach-
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
Is
No,
that
it
the
was
first
great.
time? No.
At Citi Field for the Mets.
Really?
Yeah,
Because you're a
And-
Long Island kid.
Yep. And Billy Zapka was he was the catcher. So and he went out. He said, "I'm just gonna frame it right here, and if you don't hit it, I'm gonna let it go by me." I was like, "Oh, dude, that's so Cobra Kai."
That's awesome.
And so fortunately for me, I was a little high and outside, and he went up to get it for me. But at least it didn't bounce.
Last question, man. You've been doing
Yeah.
this so long. You've had so many highs. What's this current buzz like? The excitement like? Just to see the feedback coming in for something you took a risk on.
It's beyond expectations.
Yeah.
It is beyond expectations. You always take a risk in anything you do because you don't control it. As much as I was, I'm a co-executive producer on the show and involved in the stories and all that stuff, but it's great to feel like you were right. You made the right decision, and it feels that way. It's nice now. Doing HBO's The Deuce and having that to balance.
Yep.
I did a couple things on Kevin Can Wait, the Kevin James show. So it's like to go from those three, the pop culture, a big hit kind of thing like we're hoping Cobra Kai is, to a gritty HBO drama, to a multi-camera sitcom. It's kind of nice. It's the riches, I will say, that's happening right now. But I also know how quick a year can be, so I'm just soaking it up. So it feels good, man.
That's
It's
great,
great
man.
to be here.
Congratulations.
Well, a pleasure always having you here. I know you got to run in a second. At Ralph Macchio, Instagram at Ralph_Macchio, and it's available now, right? All 10 episodes.
Right, get all 10 of them right now.
YouTube Red.
Yeah.
That's
YouTube
fantastic.
Red,
All
Cobra Kai.
We have more Covino and Rich next. Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you.
Yo, always such a good time with Ralph Macchio. And you know who loves Cobra Kai more than anyone?
Who?
Oh, Richie, my favorite show. My dad loves Cobra Kai.
I love Stingray. Oh, my parents too. And we all get to see the final season again in July 18th, season 6.
The Michael K. Show, Cobra Kai, and then you guys.
Yeah, that's my dad's viewing
ranking.
habits. Oh, nobody dad watches now?
What?
Oh, One Tree Hill.
Oh.
Don't ask me why. He went back and he's like, 10th season? Every night I watch multiple episodes. I'm
Let
like,
me
you
tell
can't.
you, the One Tree Hill, Chad Michael Murray.
So, they're good-looking people. My dad watches shows with good-looking
Oh,
people.
I can't deal with ugly
Oh.
people. No.
Well,
that was 2018, but it wasn't the first time we had Ralph on the show. One of the first times, if not the first time. I remember he was on our show in 2011, and we talked about, hey, do you ever see the movie from Johnny's perspective? And we talked about the reboot of the movie, which is crazy because, again, Ralph's so hot right now.
Watch this clip, but I'm convinced that we were the inspiration for Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
I think we planted the seed.
Could be true. But again, remember the whole Kung Fu Kid with Jaden Smith? We talked to him about it. And now he is going to be in a movie where all the universes are combined.
both
coming
Karate
soon.
Kid worlds together. But by the way, Spot, I'm going to roll with what you said. I'm going to tell people we gave Ralph Macchio the
Honestly,
idea.
You say, here, look at this clip. Actually, even further, which we don't have video of.
Put that shit on TikTok.
When we used to do our old school movie tributes, and we did our old school movie tribute to Karate Kid, remember we had William Zapka, call into the show where we talked about this.
Oh.
So I think way back. Show me someone that talked about it before 2007. I'm just saying.
We're the inspiration. Look,
inspiration.
So hot right now, maybe
Covino
because
Rich.
of us. Final season of Cobra Kai and the whole movie coming back again. Let's take a look back to 2011, Covino and Rich. Real quick clip with Ralph Macchio.
A classic that everyone loves. Loved it so much that I don't know how you can feel about this. When I heard they were remaking it, I was like, oh. I want to know your thoughts on it.
Yeah, that question comes to me occasionally.
Right? But I mean, you're the guy.
Listen, I felt the same way when I first heard. I was like, why? I mean, it's part of a legacy. I mean, I always say to myself, I mean, the Karate Kid, whether I want it or not, is somewhere in between my names on the tombstone. Now I have to, chop out the original.
Right.
And so it was odd for me since 1984 to be carrying that title, and plus the movie was all about kung fu, the remake.
Right.
But they kept, it was a better business move calling it the brand name. But I think that they did a good job of reimagining that story in contemporary times. It was very much, it was a same exact story, very different movie.
But you know what?
It only, I will say this though, the remake and that it did well, only enhanced the legacy of the pop culture of what the original was to a point where that movie is on, the original is on all the time, and every generation, revisits it.
That's good to know then. I mean, at least
because you're not going to be, I don't think there are catchphrases and images from the remake that in 10, 20 years people are going to be talking about like you guys are.
Yeah, but the thing that irked me, Rich, too, again, is like certain movies deserve to be remade. But true classics stand the test of time. And if you show any kid now, I'm sure your kids love it. You show any kid the original Karate Kid now, they still love that movie.
It still stands up.
Yeah.
I mean, the wardrobe and the hair, it's the 80s. And 80s is retro and popular now, but that's part of the charm of the movie. The movie had a great deal of heart, soul, and magic.
Absolutely.
And that you can't just recreate.
And you even inspired, Covino, you were thinking about your new Halloween costume this year. You were thinking about the shower curtain.
No, I want to be one of the Cobra Kai's. Actually, we had
skeleton.
Billy Zapka on the show. Super cool dude. You know what? It's so funny because we talked about it on our show, how if you look at that movie from a different perspective, he was a manipulated guy who was just trying to, have a relationship, and you're the new guy that came in town and stole his girlfriend.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
maybe his point of view. Maybe I'm the nemesis.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you were the asshole.
From a different perspective, you're the dick in this one.
Ooh, they so hot right now. We're talking about the celebrities we've had on the show that somehow reemerge, or listen, maybe they've been hot the whole time.
You remember we did
So steamy.
a town hall with the entire cast of Cobra Kai during the pandemic?
Yeah, that was. I remember really enjoying John Kreese.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was in 2020. We did it in Spot's living room.
Martin Cove, right?
Yeah,
Martin
we've
Cove.
had them on a bunch of times. So thank you guys. They're so hot right now. Now, we're taking you back to 2016. We had a legend come by our LA studios when we were doing the broadcast in the dentist office.
Yeah.
And that legend is Martin Lawrence. And there he was in the flesh. He was a radio host on his TV show.
Yeah.
And here we are doing radio with Martin. And I think he was promoting his 14th or 15th year of not doing any comedy or something like that.
I thought he was promoting NyQuil.
No.
Okay, man, he seemed like he was asleep.
It was like his first special in 14, 15 years or something like that. So he came by the studio and we talked about it. And as you guys know, Bad Boys is back again.
Yeah,
He's so hot right now.
If it wasn't for Inside Out 2,
Yeah.
Bad Boys, Inside Out 2 sort of stole some of the thunder because Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, that shit was huge and still is. So take a look. Martin Lawrence, back in the day. CNR, so hot right now.
There he is in the flesh. Martin Lawrence is here.
What's up, man? Rich, pleasure,
What's up, man? Yo, and I don't know what I was expecting, but you look great. You look the same, like exactly the same.
The age of fucking day.
He's gonna come in here limping or something. No, he looks great, man. Looks great, man. It's so cool to see you. You're a former radio guy. You know this game, right?
Well,
on TV?
On TV, yeah, the radio
but
stuff on TV.
That's like you thinking doctors on TV are real doctors.
I know, but he was good at it. It inspired me, Actually, it kind of did when you think about it, because What other reference did you have of people doing radio?
WKRP in Cincinnati
Right.
and Martin were the only two people I remember being on the radio.
Wow.
On
What was
television.
That was WZUP?
Wow.
What was that?
Yeah, I remember that.
But man, what a career, and happy to have you here in the studio.
Big things, the Showtime special. I heard recently you announced the new Bad Boys movie, right? There's lots going on in the world of Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, a lot of fun, lot of energy, and good things, good vibes.
Doing time uncut. We got to talk about that. But since it's our first time meeting you, man, it got to start from the beginning. Born in Germany, military family.
Yeah.
You don't remember any of that, right? Because
No.
you moved, to New York City, and that's where you grew up.
Grew up till I was about second grade.
Yeah.
Second, third grade. Then I moved to Landover, Maryland.
Okay, so we're East Coast guys, right? So I'm imagining you, a young Martin Lawrence growing up. Were you a tough kid? Because you were a boxer growing up, man.
I was a tough kid. I mean, I fought a lot.
You did?
I got in a lot of fights.
About
when I was
what,
little.
though?
Just stuff, man. Kids
Kickball?
and bullies and neighborhood kids.
Do you remember those fights though? Like you ever had flashbacks?
Yeah, man. I remember, man. I was a bad kid, man. I mean, just as far as fighting.
Yeah.
I hit somebody in the head with a bat one time.
Oh shit, that's some serious stuff.
And next time I seen somebody hit somebody in the head with a bat, that was on Robert De Niro on that movie. What, remember he had the dude?
Oh yeah,
Mafia movie.
Of course. Think about it. If that was today's world, you'd be a YouTube sensation.
I'd be a YouTube. I'd be a YouTube sensation and in jail.
They'd be called, yo, did you see Bat Boy? but a different Bat Boy, not the Mexican news Bat Boy,
Yes,
not the
exactly.
Mexican Bat Boy. So you grow up East Coast, you're fighting people all the time. You end up at the gym. You're like Golden Gloves quality though.
Yes.
See, I'm a big fight fan, and I wonder how good were you though?
I was
in
good.
the ring.
I was good enough to make it to the Golden Gloves finals.
Damn.
And I was AAU champion.
That's like a whole other lifetime,
So
right?
I was 90 pounds.
90 pounds.
90 pounds.
But
So-
nasty.
So junior amateur.
You were knocking people out?
No, I didn't knock nobody
No,
out.
never.
I did have one knockout in my AAU championship.
You got any footage of that stuff anywhere?
No.
Don't you
So
wish
he
you
can
kinda-
just say whatever he wants. You got Mayweather quickness, right?
Well, it's almost like when Will scored the 100 points. Ain't nobody had no.
Oh, I know.
They ain't had
That
no
is
footage
true.
Of it.
That
Yeah.
sucks about like growing up the way we did. We rarely have, any of that footage at all. Now we got so much
kids
footage.
now will appreciate all the footage they have? Like when you find an old video of you as a kid, that's valuable because it's so hard to come by. Now I feel like every kid has their whole life documented. I don't even know. I wonder if they'll even I wonder if they even appreciate that stuff.
Take it for granted, I think.
As long as they're not taping the wrong things, so,
Right.
you know, stuff that they regret.
So
True.
So not only getting into some trouble and fighting and stuff like that, but you're also the funny kid. So you also and there's probably no footage of that either. Is there footage? Any footage
Nah.
of Martin Lawrence, the funny kid, growing up?
No, I used to in my classes when I would go to class, I used to make the kids my classmates laugh.
And your mom, I remember reading something about that because she was always working. You would bring the humor into the household and stuff like that.
But I have a funny family. My brothers and sisters are very funny. And believe it or not, I'm not the funniest one in the family.
Right.
You hear that a lot. A
I know.
lot of
He's
really
a
funny
product.
people say like, I'm just a product. You're right. Your family, just funny people.
Yeah.
Do you remember being in school and being around your family and getting the reaction, and that was what you loved? Like when you would make people laugh, just that feeling of seeing everyone.
I loved it. Kids would see me in the hallway in school and would say, when are you going to be in fifth period today? And I'll say, yeah, I'm going to be in fifth period today. Good.
What was the
'Cause
first
They
thing?
knew I was going to be standing up, making them laugh.
Was there an impression? Was there some? What was the first shit that you remember?
It was just stuff that I don't know what I was talking about, whatever was current at that time or whatever. I just know the teacher would look and just shake his head and go back to doing what they were doing. Just let me do what I was doing.
But there was one teacher, right, that encouraged you or something, and that's how you.
Froggy, Miss Henderson. I used to clown. It was my art teacher, and I used to clown in her class all the time. And she said, if you could just stop clowning, I'll give you the last 5 minutes of class.
How cool was that, right?
Wow.
To make the class laugh, if you just do your work. And so I did, and she gave me the last 5 minutes to make the class laugh. But I had to be funny to move on.
Were you nervous, like waiting for the last 5 minutes?
I was nervous. But I was glad that she gave me that time.
Yeah,
you know?
but that means you had like balls back then, though. You know what I mean? To get up in front of the class and do that sort of thing. Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah, and she's the one who gave me a card. She gave me a card to an open mic night. And said, if you're really interested in comedy, try going to one of these comedy clubs.
And this is around what age?
And this is around 18.
You're okay.
Probably about 18, I would say. And she said to me, if you make it, only thing I want from you is a car, for you to buy me a car. And so as soon as I made it, I bought her a car.
You did?
Wow, that's a great story. I love that.
Yeah.
Miss Henderson, you said?
Yeah.
It was a new car, I hope.
Yes,
right? Bought her some hoopty. some old school. No, that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you ever feel indebted to people that, I mean, obviously your talent speaks for itself, right?
Thank you.
And you got here on your own because you're talented and you're funny and you have balls, like I said, but there's people that opened the door and saw the talent. Do you feel indebted to those people ever?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
It's because of them. They've helped pave the way for me to get here and be where I'm at and do what I do. So I'm very thankful and appreciative.
And by the way, that 18-year-old kid is now 51 years old, and you look phenomenal, dude. 51.
Looks like he's 31.
Yeah, seriously, man.
Martin Lawrence.
By the way, is that weird though? Is that weird for you? Because I'm sure that feels like yesterday. You're Golden Glove boxing, you're causing trouble. Now you're 51 and you're doing Bad Boys 3.
Right, I know it's crazy, but hey, you just roll with the punches.
It just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
We all get there.
Now, something we were talking about. We knew you were coming here, so we were reminiscing about our favorite Martin Lawrence stuff, and we were saying, "Wow, Star Search! I forget you did Star Search, right?"
Yeah,
and then because of Star Search, you got your first acting role on What's Happening Now.
Yeah,
the spinoff of What's Happening.
That's a Throwback Thursday.
That's some old school stuff.
Wait, hold on. Let's put that in perspective. We all grew up watching that show.
Yeah.
So for you to now be on the spinoff, working with Raj and Rerun and
I couldn't
Dwayne,
believe it.
dude, what was that like?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I remember watching this. I remember watching this. I was hyped when this came out. Roger looking all skinny. He's like a hipster before it was cool.
Rerun dancing, dribbling the basketball up and down the street.
Dude, what was that to be on the set with Shirley and that shit?
It was beautiful, man. And Shirley and Raj, this one of the most beautiful people you could meet. They're just good people, and show me the ropes and show me what I need to be doing and how I needed to act. And it just was a lot of fun. It was my first television experience in acting, and I was just so excited. It was my way out of the ghetto.
And probably gave you lots of bragging rights. Like, yo, dude, he's on What's Happening Now.
Yeah, it gave me some bragging rights.
That's just so cool.
What do you remember being the first thing where you got like a legit paycheck where you're like, yo, I could do this for a living? Was there a gig or a comedy? Was there a comedy thing you did or an acting gig you got where you said, wow, this is my thing now. I don't have to worry about other jobs. I'm legit.
Probably What's Happening Now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably What's Happening Now when I started getting checks from that show.
But that show didn't last that long because I remember liking it. I remember being into it.
Yeah, it didn't
I
last.
I love What's Happening.
Yeah.
And we've seen those episodes on Rerun, no pun intended, over and over again. At that point, you're now thrusted into this career. Do you start to like say, oh shit, get on my hustle? What's next? Is that kind of where you were then?
You want to find an agent.
Right.
And so, once you get an agent, you got somebody out there helping you look for the next job or whatever, that you should be doing or whatever. So, you just get the help that you need.
I love how everything sort of led to something for Martin Lawrence when you look at your career. You know what I mean? Like Star Search actually led to some cool TV stuff for you. And then the TV stuff for you actually led to some cool movie opportunities for you, and then you made it happen.
I'm gonna fast forward to 92.
Yeah.
Because that's when, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of pressure, but greatness that goes along with a show that's named after you. You get the call from Fox and like, we're doing this, Martin?
Yeah. Well, we my manager at the time, Tapa Carew, we pitched over at HBO at HIP at the time to Chris Albrecht, who was in charge, and we pitched the show, and he liked it, took it to Fox, and then Fox picked it up, and so when they said yes, I was over the moon, and it was named after me. So I was
you can't beat that. And you had your own song and everything.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Are you behind that song? Is there anything like did you sort of personally be involved in making that?
A kid from Kid and Play, he got involved in it, and that's how they came up with the song.
And you knew him from House
And
Party
I knew
1
him
and
from
2.
House Party 1 and 2, yeah.
See, I always bug out about that when I see you in those movies. Again, guys, we skipped, Do the Right Thing. Of course. House Party 1 and 2. They were the stars, and you were sort of making cameos in their movies, and then bam, your star just explodes. You just fast forward. It's just amazing.
When you were doing the House Party and the Kid and Play, doing those type of things, were you deep down inside? Did you say, "My day, like I'm going to be the star. Like I'm having fun now, but I know that I'm destined to be like the main guy."
No, I didn't really say that to myself. I just try to play my role that I was in and enjoy the part that I had. While I was doing it, and I knew if I got an opportunity to take the lead at some point, I would take advantage of it, and that's what I tried to do.
Now, a lot of people, gave Martin Lawrence breaks. I got feedback right now from Curtis and Callie. He said, you got to ask him about casting Tracy Morgan as Hustle Man on his show. Dude was hilarious on Martin. Do you remember those days?
Tracy was hilarious. It's the first time I met Tracy was over at Def Jam. And Tracy pulled up his shirt and started slapping on his stomach.
Not even knowing you, just doing?
Just doing something crazy. And I just said, this dude is funny, man. I said, I got to have him on my show. And when the idea came up for Hustle Man on the Martin show, his name came up, Tracy. And I said,
that's the guy.
Let's get Tracy.
Oh, that's so great, man. What's that like knowing that you came up with so many talented people to see everyone's trajectory and see how it all panned out? Do you bug out looking at that? And like when, let's say you're with Tracy Morgan right now, like do you share those memories and laugh about like, yo man, that's so crazy?
Remember Hustle Man?
Yeah, like remember that?
Yeah, we have fun about it. You know, we might laugh about it. We don't talk about it too much, but we might laugh about it and just say, Tracy's he's such a thankful guy and appreciative guy.
Yeah.
So he'll always come up and, oh, you let me eat at your table, man. I love you so much, man, and thank you, So he's always thanking me,
That's a pretty good Tracy Morgan, by the way. You're known for your impressions. I mean, I love how you played multiple characters on Martin. Was that your idea, or was that just because you came from a world where you were good at doing characters? So they said, hey, let's incorporate this?
I really didn't know that I was that good at doing characters. I just was trying it because it was my show, and I had to come up with something to keep the show a success or whatever. And,
risky though, right? Because you don't know how people are going to react to it.
Yeah, and didn't know how they were going to react, but I had something in me, and they worked. Characters work.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't necessarily know how people would take it, but he did it. Again, Martin Lawrence, a guy with balls.
I'm looking at the timeline of some of your favorite movies that we love, and what comes to mind for me is Nothing to Lose.
That's
I would say it's underrated because I feel like more people should put that down as one of the funnier movies of the late 90s. You and Tim Robbins, that's a chemistry that was probably unpredicted. How funny were they together? Unbelievable.
It was good.
I think
I always think of the Scat Man and Tim Robbins dancing, and how fun was that movie making?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was early on. One of my first movies outside of my TV show, and it was a lot of fun. Just when we shot it, it was a tough time, but it was fun.
As you start getting more and more famous, when you're starting to do these bigger movies, have your own show, how crazy was life? Not the movie, because I love the movie Life. I do want to talk about that too. But how was experiencing fame for the first time, and what was that roller coaster like for a young guy?
It was different for me, because I was young, and certain choices that I made early on in my career weren't necessarily the right choices.
Right.
When I would get in trouble and things like that. But it just came from not knowing and just being young.
So I imagine it was kind of cool because you're like, oh shit, I'm getting all the success.
Yeah.
But at the same time, very confusing.
Yeah.
Right.
And very confusing because not understanding and realizing with all the fame and the success, a lot of responsibility goes with it.
Right.
Yeah,
especially today because there's so many young stars under the microscope.
Without a doubt. I'm thinking because when I bring up Nothing to Lose, and you said Life, which is another great movie, while we all think back and how much we love those movies, is it hard for you to remember them in such a positive way because that might have been a tough time for you?
It's a couple of movies, not all of them.
You know what I love about Martin Lawrence too is he's so over the top with his humor and he's always so funny, but there's subtle things about you that you incorporate. I don't know if it's intentional or it just happens, but like I'm thinking of the movie Life and you escape from prison. And by the way, with Eddie Murphy, Ray's Boom Boom Room, that shit was great. You escape from prison and you just want you see an apple pie right on the windowsill, but this woman makes a fresh apple pie, and his first instinct, because he's escaped from prison, is to run, and he sees an apple pie. He just wants apple pie, but it's hot. It's a hot apple pie, right? And he digs right into it, puts it in his mouth. And it was too hot for his mouth. That shit was hysterical to me, man. Do you ever watch that shit and just bug out at the shit that you did? Like, I know it's me, but that shit was funny.
Yeah, I laugh.
I love that. It's okay. I think that's great that you laugh at that stuff, man. Because that scene so subtle, but so when you make that face and shit, I do that messing around. Still to this day from the movie Life. And people, I think most of our friends listening right now reference so much of the stuff that you've done. What is the most quotable Martin Lawrence stuff that you still hear? You're walking down the street. Is it
the Mike? Maybe Mike. We didn't even get up to Bad Boys yet, but is it the whole Mike Lowry? The Mike Lowry.
I've heard that. I've heard what's up.
What's up?
I've heard a few of them.
I bet you never heard that apple pie shit before.
I never heard that.
That stuck with me, man. That shit was funny.
I was saying before, we were saying the Black Knight, which is hilarious also. That scene where I think they're about to kill you, and you get everyone singing and dancing to dance to the music.
Yeah.
Like, just, dude,
Dan, put that up, man. We're hanging out with Martin Lawrence, by the way. I hate to put you on the spot, man, because it's a pleasure for us, A little Sly and the Family Stone. How do you not love this? This is the shit. Martin Lawrence is here. He's laughing in the studio. I love this, man. We mentioned Tracy Morgan and you guys coming up. I don't want to say who do you enjoy better, but when you look back at your career, you're opposite, Will Smith. You're opposite Eddie Murphy, and so many stars. There's so many big names you worked with, and they've worked with you. Who stands out to you? Like,
who do you got chemistry? Chemistry with? Who do you feel like you got good? Is it Will? Because that franchise was big.
I had the two that stands out to me is Eddie Murphy and Will Smith.
They do.
The chemistry. I love me and Eddie's chemistry in life, and just working with Eddie to getting to see. He's the truth.
Real deal.
He's that good, huh?
He's that good, up close and real. He's the truth. So, seeing Eddie work on that side and getting to work with him, and then getting to work with Will and seeing how Will is the truth and Will is dedicated.
They say he's like the hard. Is he really like the hardest worker?
Yeah, he's the hardest worker. He's dedicated to what he's doing, and he's all in.
By the way, Bernie Mac is in Life too. It's such an underrated movie, man.
Yeah,
that must have been fun for you. So Will Smith and Eddie Murphy, they are as talented as we think they are.
Yes, they are.
Wow. Do you feel challenged because you're equally as talented? You're a huge star. Do you feel like they challenge you? Do you bring that to the table?
I think they bring the best out of me.
Yeah,
I think they make me better. And I hope I make them better.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
I'm excited because I know you guys announced recently Bad Boys 3 is going to be out. But let's talk about the Showtime special. We have a few minutes left. Obviously, is this something? When was the last time we saw a stand-up special?
Dude, this is huge.
Well, it's been 14 years since my last one, since Run Tell That. So
yeah, I was gonna say it's been a minute. So
so it's been 14 years.
What are you wearing? That's important because we're gonna associate it.
I got jeans on and a black shirt.
But okay.
I'm still hot. I'm still hot and I'm still sweating. But I just don't have on all the leather.
But that's how we associate it, though.
Yeah,
right?
every time you say a comedy special, you think, oh, what was the comic where? And you can remember. So
I just don't have on all the leather.
The one where you're sweating? Yeah, but the one with the jeans on. On. Wow, man, this is big.
Doing Time Uncut, is this, are you taking it back to those stand-up roots or what? Are you?
Yeah, just fun, man. It's not complicated. It's, the material's fun, just talking about a lot of stuff, having fun.
It's like you're in front of the classroom again, but you're getting paid.
Like I'm in front of the classroom.
He doesn't have to buy anyone a car this time.
Right. but he can't with that Showtime money. They came to you or you made this happen?
They made it happen.
How cool is that, man?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, you know what? It's time to do this again?
Yeah.
Wow. Obviously you're confident, but do you worry about, like, again, criticisms or anything like that? Or are you just throwing it out there?
It is what it is. I don't have nothing to prove. I done did so
that's
much
a good feeling,
in my
right?
career and my time. I don't have nothing to prove. It's all about me just having fun and enjoying the ride right now.
Oh, that's a great mentality to have. And we didn't even touch on all the Blue Streak. What a fucking great movie Blue Streak is. What a great the Big Mama House movies.
Yes, I mean it goes on all day, man, and I'm excited. We love comedy. I'm so excited to see this.
And you'll
then
be
then it'll live on demand, so people will still be watching it, quoting it, talking about it.
Showtime, doing time, uncut. All right, perfect. Well, Martin Lawrence, a pleasure having you. Thank you, man, so much.
Welcome back to the CNR show, our very special, our so hot right now interview special. Again, it's the CNR effect because it seems like they're doing big things since being on our show. Am I right?
Yeah.
So again, Ralph Macchio, Martin Lawrence. It was cool to meet a legend, Martin Lawrence. And it's cool to see how big the Bad Boys franchise still is, even though my Bad Boys is Sean Penn and Asai Morales. But
every time.
I digest. Now, you know who's kind of hot right now? And I think he's getting even hotter as we speak.
Whoa, slow down.
The great Hambino, Patrick Renna. Here's why. The Sandlot is a classic. People love it. I know you think Benny the Jet was the hot one. No, the great Hambino. Because the dude is blowing up on social media all over again. There's a market for this dude. He's doing commercials and doing all these funny videos for companies, but he does the NFL dances.
That's what it was.
Yeah, the dances are what brought him back, but now he's got endorsements and everything because he's such a familiar face that everybody feels like they grew up with. So Patrick Renna, he's hot right now.
Well, I mean, you just talked the other day, like a week ago or so, about your 30th anniversary of your high school graduation.
Yeah.
Last year was the 30th anniversary of Sandlot, and the cast got back together. So they were doing a lot of stuff. So he's also hitting that nostalgia chord with, man, Sandlot's 30 plus years old? Shit. So Patrick Renna in the mix.
In the mix. And it's funny you say the anniversary because he came by our show. What year was that? 2018 to promote the 25th anniversary of The Sandlot. It's a current day, modern day classic. It really is that great. If you haven't seen it, watch it with the kids. But he's so hot right now on social media. Let's look back with Patrick Renna. Patrick Renna!
Hey.
What's up, man? How are you?
Good.
To the
Thanks,
show,
guys.
man.
Thank you.
We got to catch you up. We're reminiscing. We're going to be reminiscing with you. We're talking about Rich made brownies yesterday.
Yeah.
You heard this?
I was listening out there. Yeah.
Okay, good. And it's
3 minutes a box.
The biggest.
It's
3 minutes.
Yeah, it's nothing. Come on, it's ridiculous.
But we're dad now. Congratulations.
I am. Which one? Who's your dad?
We're both dads.
But one of you has a baby, right?
But you and I, both born in 79, and both have our kids.
89.
Oh, you're 89?
No, I'm just kidding.
Damn, I'm fucking old. But we both have a kid. My daughter was born in May.
Okay, yeah. My son is born in April, so he's about to have his first birthday.
So you're going through the same exact thing.
Well, you said music class. I was listening on the way over, and we're doing music class.
Oh, Jesus. That's
right?
a whole conversation in itself because I can't imagine you being in a music class and not everyone staring like, that's fucking the great Hambino.
Yeah, my wife takes him to the music class. I might drop him off and go get a coffee or something.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, man. When you look back, I bet, because your parents, they actually moved you to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our parents took us to the local fucking park, and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So,
but do you remember some of these things that you thought were probably a bigger deal than they were?
Like back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day. Like we're talking about when someone got a new bike in town. That was a big deal.
Oh,
but
yeah.
When you really think about it, someone's parents bought a $100 bike. Like,
Sure.
What is big? You went out after a school concert or a Little League game. You went to get ice cream, and you thought that was magical.
Yeah, it's true. But, I experienced those things because I'm from Boston, and I lived there till I was 13. So I had a somewhat normal upbringing,
Right, and you can still remember that, I'm
yeah.
sure, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Because, we're going to talk more about it, but you were 14 when you did The Sandlot, right?
I think I was 13, and it came out when I was 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Patrick Renna's here, and I'm real excited to see him, and we're happy for you. You've been doing it for a long time. You probably get this all the time, but it must be like everyone sort of feels like they know you when they really don't know you.
Well, yeah, I mean,
right?
Yeah, I think, though, there's a part of me that they know.
Yeah, there's a part of you. Big part of you.
And so it's great, though, because it's a conversation starter. And, anywhere you walk in, you start off on the right foot. So
I'm amazed that You're Killing Me Smalls.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
I mean, I wonder, I always wondered if something like that is eye-rolling to you, or do you embrace it completely? I'm talking, you go to Target or Walmart, and it's like,
it's like the generic graphic tee.
I know.
That's around the world. Do you get any kickback on that?
You know, I don't know. Maybe I will. We're gonna look into it. Us three.
because I mean, no
He's
joke.
got lawyers.
Every time
Let me get back to you
every
on
time
that.
there's a table of graphic T-shirts that have
Yeah.
to do with movies or bands or anything, there's always the "You're Killing Me" Smalls T-shirt.
Yeah, well, you know, it's also funny because the movie, when it came out, was pretty popular, and then it had a nice run of success. But within the last 10 years, or even 5 years, it's kind of resurfaced and gone to the next level because Urban Outfitters started those T-shirts, and that was about 5-6 years ago. So I didn't realize what this movie meant to people until the last 5-10 years. You know? So it's not. I haven't lived with it for 25 like that.
You can't even really put your finger on it, or maybe you can because you're so connected to it. But you know, to capture that magic, I'm sure none of you thought that it was going to be as big as it turned out to be. And I was a little older. I was already, you know, scamming chicks and dating. I was a little bit older when it came out, and even I was able to, you know, recognize, wow, this movie was so special. You know, like this is one of the great ones. This is a great movie. So how did it all happen? You moved to LA when you were a little kid, right?
Yeah.
Just to do acting. Were you doing commercials and stuff like that leading up to this, or was this your first big thing?
First big thing.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I lived a pretty normal childhood. I think I did some print stuff in Boston, but I moved out here. My mom moved out for some sort of job and knew I wanted to act, brought me out with her, and it was basically my first audition too. And I was the last one cast, and they were flipping parts around, and they needed to cast it, so I kind of came in right at the end, and it was crazy.
Were you a funny kid? They like in your group, because I'm guessing you're probably a little wise guy from Boston.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, oh, this kid. In the beginning, with it, did you see the look on the director's face, like, oh, this is gonna work. This little wise ass is gonna be.
Yeah, I could tell he liked me.
He looks like
we
a
got
wise
on
ass.
well. Yeah. In Boston, I was just a little shit. In LA, there was something special because I brought in Boston. Come on, they're like, what an asshole.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
That's great. So man, you must have been like, holy shit, I got this part, and you're there, and you know, as a little kid, you seem to have all this crazy sort of confidence about you. Was that real, or was that acting?
I think that's a little. I mean, listen, I'm not that confident, but is anyone? You know?
But you know,
some people are, but it's annoying. I don't know that I'm that. But again, growing up on the East Coast, I think helped me with that, and coming out here, and you know, a little in your face, a little brash, and
gave you that attitude a little bit.
Yeah, and then also,
Hambino.
honestly, the director probably brought a lot of it out in me.
Right. 25 years ago, again, we're talking Sandlot. Patrick Renna is here. He played Hamilton, Ham Porter, on the show.
When you think of this, movie, you got to think of, like you said, when the total product together is magical.
Yeah.
When you're filming it, do you even get that sense? I know you're a kid, so you don't really, you don't have that mindset that an adult would have.
We thought brownies were a big deal. You know, so our perception's off. We don't know anything.
Because you put in the voiceover from what's his face?
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. You get James Earl Jones voicing it over. The soundtrack has the like emotional music. When it's all put together, you must have been like, "Holy shit! Look at this! This when put together, this is pretty awesome."
Yeah, you know, James Earl Jones. We were just stoked because there was the voice of Darth Vader. But again, you don't even appreciate who he really is when you're 13 because this guy is one of the greatest actors of all time, and you don't know that.
Yeah,
you just know, oh, Darth Vader's here. You know.
You know what I found interesting about that too is that we saw somewhere that you only worked with him for one day. So here's
I barely met the guy.
Yeah, you barely meet the guy. You work one day with him,
but yet you live on together somehow through this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're cemented together forever.
It's very strange. Same thing with Marley Shelton, the lifeguard, Wendy Peppercorn. One day. I mean, the story of that is the director pulls all of us aside before she comes on and goes, listen, you guys, don't you fucking even talk to her. Don't look at her. I know you 9. Right. You dirty little guy. Like, just read us the riot act. And there she is, this gorgeous girl, and we're all, jaws dropping. And then Sean Celia party squints, kisses her, and she's gone.
Right.
But we've lived with her for 25 years. I mean, I don't even know if I saw her. I wonder if we'd say hi. It's been, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So how do you sort of wrap your head around that? Yeah, let's reminisce and hear some of the scenes.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, one of the most classic scenes. Yeah, you might not. You're right.
I mean, I would see her and go, I remember you. Do you remember me?
But you guys all had a crush on her the same way.
Of course.
Who
but she didn't have a crush on us. So.
Who are your other? Like I said, we were on the same age. Was it? Was it? Alyssa Milano?
Yes.
Was it
Nicole
Kelly?
Eggert. Remember Nicole Eggert?
Was
yeah.
my.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to say that one for sure.
Well, she resurfaced lately. And,
Her resurfacing wasn't awesome.
No.
But on Charles in Charge,
yeah,
I thought she was the hottest thing
Me
ever
too.
when I was a
Oh
kid.
my god, I was in love with her. I mean, there's so many.
Kelly Kapowski on Saved by the Bell.
yeah.
I mean,
she was in Son-in-Law.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that
Well, when she did this like lay down scene in the barn with one of the other guy, her boyfriend on the thing, she knew. I mean, I was 14 now, and of course, she knew I had a huge crush on her, and she just loved it. And was the sweetest person, and she laid down and like waved at me to come over, and I just like pissed my pants and ran out, and that was it.
Are you sure it was piss?
It was a little early. I was 14.
Okay.
I don't know,
That's funny.
But touche.
Right. Patrick Renna is here on the show. We're going to get to Son-in-Law, but talking Sandlot, people remember you as a kid, as a 14-year-old kid all the time. Now you're a dad.
Yeah.
Right? So does that sort of freak people out sometimes? Or how is it for you in your perception to be always remembered as that kid? Like, none of us are remembered for being that kid.
Yeah.
You were that kid.
I guess it does. It's funny when I hadn't seen the other 8 or other 7. Mike Vitar didn't make it because he's a firefighter now and doesn't.
Right, Benny the Jet.
He he's doing his thing. Family. I think 3 girls, and
Had no interest, huh?
No, for him, I think he's just gone in such a different path that he's just, and he has 3 daughters, 2 or 3 daughters. So it's him and all his girls. So I think he's probably just protecting the family, and with
Doing
him
his
too,
own
he was
thing.
the heartthrob. So
Yeah.
I get "you're killing me," Smalls. He gets you're so hot. I didn't get that.
Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have been doing a lot of promotion. He's the one that's not there. But
so
you're
I
saying
hadn't
it's not
seen.
like, it's not like he's too cool. It's just he's doing his own thing.
Yeah. I respect it.
Okay.
But I hadn't seen all 8 until this last week, and that was nostalgic for me. That was the first time I had that nostalgia. But everyone, other people have it, but for me, it hasn't been that way till now.
Right. Was that sort of weird seeing how everyone aged differently?
How you feel? You holding up? You look good, right?
Oh, thank
compared
you.
to the
Yeah.
it's like where like I said, did you go to your 20-year high school reunion?
No,
Because when you go to reunions, you got to be honest. You're looking around.
his reunion.
Yeah,
This is.
You're looking around like, how's everyone holding up?
Yeah, I know. The cool thing is they're all great, and I think they're all holding up well, and some people are doing different things, and but it was that a little bit,
Right.
I think high school reunions are different because there's guys and girls though. So
Did
that's
you
more
guys
exciting.
talk about like what it's been like having to live with the movie all these years with your other castmates? Like, do you get this all the time? Was there some sort of relatable thing you talked about?
I think for me it's a little different because I sort of still look the same. I look very similar, so it's a little different, I think, for me. And they say it a lot.
That's true. I wouldn't. You know what? I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
I
Squints
wouldn't
doesn't go around with
recognize
he doesn't go around with a
anyone else.
backwards hat and glasses.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
You could be Squints. You
Exactly.
Could,
I could put on glasses and backwards hat and be like,
It's
hey,
true.
guess what? Reunion, Squints.
I was Squints. Right.
But when we were at Angel Stadium and we were handing things out, and then when people see us together, they start they start freaking out a little bit.
That's cool, man.
It's pretty amazing. I heard that one of the most famous scenes in any kids sports movie of all time is the insults back and forth.
Yes.
Was there? Rich? Was it a kids movie though, or is that a misconception?
I feel like a little bit of both.
Yeah, I feel like it's.
I think you're right though.
Because I think adults watch it. And
That's
it's
why it's so popular.
It's nostalgic.
You know
even
why?
a kid, even an adult will love that movie.
I throw it in the category of movies that you could say are kids movies, but adults would love, like a Goonies or Back to the Future.
Goonies is my Sandlot.
Yeah, like
That's,
is it? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Now, is it crazy that while you do appreciate it, you were in it, that the Sandlot to so many people is their Goonies?
That's it blows my mind.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't cease to amaze me. Like never cease to amaze me.
It's in that category.
The craziest thing that you've been experiencing more than ever on this promotional sort of tour is the fact that a lot of the MLB players now, that was their shit growing up.
Well, I'll tell you, it's pretty trippy too when you see these guys. Number one, they're all huge, and number two, they're all younger than me. Yet they, I look at Kobe Bryant and he's my age. Tiger Woods, and these guys are larger than life.
Doesn't
though.
it sadden you when they talk about a player being way old and you're like, yo, they're my age?
Yeah, of course, yes.
They were talking about. I'm a Mets fan.
Shut their mouth.
I'm a Mets fan, and you're familiar with Adrian Gonzalez, being that you're a Boston fan, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But they're like, yo, Adrian Gonzalez, he's giving it one last shot. He's 35. Like,
I know.
Like he's an old man.
Right.
It's crazy.
And all these guys grew up loving and quoting, I'm sure, the great Hambino. But you said the insults,
Yeah,
the famous scene.
The insult scene.
Yes.
Scripted, improv, a mix of both. What was the story behind that?
This is scripted, 100%. However, the director came to my dressing room that morning, knocked on my door, and said, here's the scenes for the day. You're going to be doing this scene now. This was originally written for Benny. Oh. So you switch Benny and me, and he was supposed to defend. But he had become, even through the filming, such like a sweet, heartwarming, I don't know.
Isn't it funny how the little changes like that?
Yeah. Change the whole course of the movie.
But it makes so much sense now. You can't imagine Benny the Jet going back and forth with these silly insults, but your character, of course, you want to play the classic scene here? Go ahead.
This kid's great too.
I'm good enough to lick the dirt off our cleats.
He's awesome.
Watch it, jerk. Shut up, idiot. Moron. Scab eater. Butt sniffer. Pus licker. Fart smeller. You eat dog crap for breakfast, geek. You mix your weenies with your mama's toe jam. Yeah! You bob for apples in the toilet, and you like it. You play ball like a girl.
Oh, shit.
That's the best. You know what's crazy? You guys are kids and you're so great.
What'd you say?
I love it.
You heard me. Tomorrow. Noon. At our field. Get the buffalo butt breath. Count on it, pee-drinking crap face. Yeah!
Pee-drinking crap face.
Yeah,
Write that down. That's an insult I don't use enough.
That's yeah. Do you remember all of them? I guess, right?
I remember them, but then the scene after that is the one that wasn't scripted. When we're playing them.
Yeah.
And I'm talking trash behind home plate.
Oh, yeah.
That was improv, but that was improv from the director. So he had a bullhorn behind the dugout, and he was just yelling lines at me. And,
That's cool.
Hey, tell him to shave his butt and teach him to walk backwards or whatever it is. And, he would yell the line. I'd crack up for a second, and then I'd deliver it. So that was the improv.
And it proves, how talented these guys were when they were kids and how great they were at it. You see these big leaguers try to reenact these scenes, and it's such an honor. I would imagine it's so cool.
The Brewers did it recently,
but you see how terrible actors they are. And you're like, wow, these kids are really great when they did that. Now, I don't want to get too weird on us because we're having a fun discussion here. But one of your most famous lines is "You play ball like a girl."
It is.
In today's world, is that like, I don't know if that would fly today?
No,
really?
We did an interview and they asked us, and we all laughed and said, "Would it still be in the movie?" And we said, "Not if you want to make any money. No way."
Yeah, right? You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, that one wouldn't fly in today's world. And, it's weird because most people wouldn't even really bat an eye at it. They're like, okay, whatever.
I mean, I think back then when it was said, it was not, whatever. I think it was even ridiculous then. I like to think that was the intention behind it.
Right.
Even it was so stupid then. It wasn't like... I don't think we took ourselves seriously because you even hear the music goes out and it's like, oh, really? That's the worst insult? You just called him a pee-drinking crap face.
Right.
So I feel like that's why you get away with it a little bit, but no, not in this day and age.
That's the one,
Is it nuts to you that at one point your son could love this movie and you're in it?
Yeah.
Like, there's going to come a time where him and his buddies, like, we're watching Sandlot.
Yeah.
And, like, Dad's in it.
Yeah. That is a little weird. We'll see.
Because every little boy at one point watched that movie with his buddies.
Yeah, totally.
Now, you've also done, a lot of stuff. You're still making stuff. We're going to talk about that, too. Again, Patrick Renna's here.
Yeah, Glow, right? You're part of Glow.
Yeah.
And we love season 1.
Me too. When I got season 2, I binge watched it with my wife. It's so fantastic.
Who's the girl that we saw here, Spot, that I loved? Machu Picchu?
Machu Picchu.
Oh, yes.
She's like the sweetest woman of all time.
Yes, she is. Brittany Young, right?
Yeah, she is so nice.
Yeah, she one of the nicest on set, too.
Now,
so welcoming.
When you go onto a set, are the other actors also asking you the same ridiculous questions we're asking you because they're such big fans of the movie?
Well, I'll tell you, Glow was a great experience. I filmed a movie and I've known Jackie Tone, who plays Melrose, for a long time. So I already had an in. But these girls were all so incredibly welcoming, and they had all seen Sandlot.
Of course.
But again, that breaks the ice, because when you go and guest on a, you do a couple episodes on a show, sometimes it can, you're in their territory. But they just, it was great because of Sandlot. We were all buddies, fast friends, and it was great.
Right.
After Sandlot, you do Son-in-Law.
Yeah.
With Pauly Shore. And by the way, I saw sad news. Pauly Shore's mother passed
I know.
away.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. She famously runs the comedy store and everything.
Do you reach out in a weird way, or is that so long ago it's odd?
Well, here's the thing. No, Pauly and I actually talk once in a while.
That's cool.
And I see him. I didn't know his mother, though. So I thought to myself, should I reach out? But so many people are. And that was a bit right before my generation, I think.
Right.
Because he's a little older than me. But I should reach out. And, he obviously is going through a tough time. And
he was cool with you when you were a kid?
Oh, he was like a big brother.
That's awesome.
He was like a big brother.
I read something. He taught you a lot about girls. And
He did.
Shit, right?
He taught me how to one-hand unbutton jeans. Yeah, it was
the
incredible.
weasel.
Come on. What,
you learned your moves from the weasel.
Yeah, he did. He had his run with women for sure. Pauly Shore,
of course,
absolutely. I know we're going to talk about Son-in-Law and the new stuff and Glow, but since we brought it up, did the Sandlot and all this stuff, did that help in the woman department? Like you said, icebreaker, but even in that department too, did Ham cash in?
Yeah, was it like a novelty bragging right for some girl to hook up with you?
Here's the I've been married for 12 years, so
right, okay,
so it hasn't in that. In my early 20s, it was nice, though. It was
right, dude.
a nice
I imagine
icebreaker.
In your early 20s, you walk into a party or a college party or a LA party, whatever. You're the fucking guy, right?
It was fun. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of I was a little bit of a scaredy cat on that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wasn't the suave,
Dude, I picture him pushing his sleeves up.
That was the one area I was not him.
Oh, really? Wow, that's funny.
When you think of the perks that come along with, being part of, successful, popular things, are you even a big ball fan? Do you a baseball fan or no?
Yeah, I am.
You throwing out first pitches and doing things like that, just taking advantage of the opportunities?
Yeah, I'm a baseball fan. I'm a big sports fan. I honestly am more of a football, basketball fan. But
ready for the NBA playoffs?
I'm so excited. I hate when people get hurt, though. That always bums me out.
When people get hurt, it throws off the whole.
Yeah, like Kyrie. He's
terrible.
so great. Yeah, and even Haywood.
Yeah, it does. It throws off.
Everything.
And Steph's out, and when's he coming back? So
right now, in round one, it's Warriors Spurs.
Yeah,
but you don't have Kawhi Leonard and you don't have Steph Curry, so it's like
I know.
Wouldn't you love to just have all the stars in there?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, KD is great. And we joked on the other interview, I'm his Twitter avatar.
Oh, that's right.
Can you believe it?
I
can't wait. I know. That is one guy I want to meet.
That's
so
right.
I'm plugging it. I'm saying, bring me to the finals. KD will be a good luck charm.
I want you guys to listen back to this. Did you hear? Kevin Durant's Twitter avatar is Patrick. It's him, as Ham.
Pointing, yeah.
That's him pointing.
I couldn't believe it.
So you are Kevin Durant.
I am.
So let's just say hypothetically you go to a game.
Yeah.
Right? Is there a part of you who's like, I wonder if he's gonna recognize me and see me point and call
I mean,
me out?
with him I would assume he would because I'm his
right.
But sure, I mean
how cool is that?
It's so cool. That blew my mind. That one blew my mind.
Kevin Durant. Basically you are Kevin Durant according to Twitter.
Basically, I am Kevin Durant.
That's hysterical, man.
I know.
Hey, have you ever put on that outfit
hold on.
again?
I was going to say that striped shirt, is that somewhere like in a memory box or is
probably?
That
yeah. I don't have it. They're doing at the Louisville Slugger they're doing like a museum and they have a bunch of the old stuff in it. So maybe the director kept that. But.
Now, I don't know if this already happened or if I'm ruining a secret or anything, so forgive me or whatever, but it's like a Jimmy Fallon. He seems to be the type of guy. Is he the type of guy that wants to get you guys together? Now, are we going to see you in this again? Where celebrating 25 years?
Like in this outfit.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't. I guess if the price is right, I'll put it on.
Right? Why not? But that would be great.
It would.
Like Jimmy Fallon
is the type that
is the type to have you out there, come out there with the bat, with the outfit, and. Yeah.
And you know, I think it's really cool that you embrace it. There's a lot of people that don't want to talk about the stuff but this movie was so big.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In the last 5-10 years, it's gotten so big that how can you not?
Right.
You know.
Now, in between that time, though, did it sort of work against you because you were so synonymous with ham?
I don't know. I guess I try and look at everything glass half full.
Right,
So,
which is great.
I mean, your IMDb appears that you've been acting, you have steady work, so it's not like it's.
I don't think it hurt. I think it helps. I think
helps.
sometimes
Awesome.
it probably hurts because people go, "Oh, I know him," and maybe I don't get an opportunity because they have a conception already. But generally, I think it helps.
Your wife get a kick out of all this?
Yeah, she's pretty chill, and she does. She also has breastfeeding a 1-year-old still, so she doesn't have much time for anything.
Right, exactly.
What's you watching Sesame Street? Because that shit stands the test of time.
But yeah, that was very early on.
But that's
and
when you
now
usually-
he's Moana.
Oh, Moana.
I want to thank Dwayne Johnson, not for everything that he's done, but
You're
just
welcome.
for that one performance.
Right.
He is my hero.
You gotta. That's where you use your fame.
Yeah, you're gonna
to
get
your
a voice. You
advantage.
gotta get a voice in one of these movies.
Voice
That's
one of these
right.
movies, or
Cash
like
in.
he mentioned Sesame Street. They incorporate actors and celebrities in these little songs all the time.
That's right.
That'll blow your kid's mind.
Yeah, there
'Cause
you
he's not
go.
gonna care about the Sandlot,
No.
for a few years.
Well, when he's 3 watching Sesame Street.
Right, that's the shit.
Yeah, now you're talking. Yo, when you were filming, one last question about Sandlot, because I do want to talk about Glow for a second.
Yeah.
You guys all snuck out to see Basic Instinct. Is that a fun fact?
Yeah, I mean,
I see that pop up on like fun facts about the cast.
because
Like,
Marty, the guy who plays likes to just say it in every interview, and we gotta shut him up. He's got this great story about James Earl Jones too that he never talks about. He walked on and said, "Sir, are you Darth Vader?" And James Earl Jones looked at him and said, "I am your father." And that, but it leads with we snuck into Basic Instinct.
Right.
Apparently we did. I vividly remember. I don't vividly remember it, but
Apparently it happened.
apparently I'm not going to deny it. I'm sure
right.
we did.
let's keep in mind one thing before we talk about Glow. We're talking 42 days of your life on the set of a movie.
Yeah.
It's just the topic of conversation for the next 25 years of your life. So keep in mind, 42 days. We're talking
Put
about
that
a
in
month.
perspective.
We're
It's
talking
a
about
summer. It's one summer.
It's not even.
Yeah.
It's a month and a half, and the success, of course, has provided great things. But it's something you're talking the rest of your life about something that happened in 42 days.
It's true. It's true. I mean, it was a little longer because we did some baseball camp before, but tops 2 months.
I got to commend your attitude on it. For people that heard our best stuff just this past week, we had a day off. I was bitching about how people can never see past the fact that I used to drive the radio station van sometimes. Like, hey man, I've been doing this fucking 20 years.
Yeah.
These guys still think I drive the van.
Yeah.
People still must treat you in a weird way, like you're 14 years old. Like, yo, dude, I'm a grown man.
99 out of 100 times, though, it's great.
It's great. It's
yeah,
great feedback.
Obviously, there's some interesting times out there, but most of the time it is an icebreaker, and it's cool.
I'm excited to see you on Glow because the show's terrific.
Yeah.
And
you play a super fan, right?
Well, yeah, and Ham became a wrestler at the end of Sandlot, and now I'm on a wrestling show.
That's
Come
right.
on.
That's
What are the odds?
I totally forgot about that.
You play a character, Cupcake.
Yeah.
Who is a Glow super fan,
Yeah.
and if you watch Glow season 1, it was fantastic. So it's gonna be
good.
cool to see you in that, man. And honestly, Netflix, what a cool platform.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I produced and directed a movie a couple years ago that's on Netflix as well, and that was what Jackie Tone was in. And then so to get on a show that's on Netflix, it's great. I mean, it's the best these days.
Wow, man, is that how it all sort of worked out for you? Is that how you got involved with the Netflix stuff?
No, I mean, I don't think they're connected necessarily, but they're. It just worked out that way.
Well, yeah, it's a great, I guess, team and train to be on.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Oh yeah. It was, and that show is just so great. It's so funny, and the girls are so talented, and Mark Maron and a couple of of the other guys. But what a show,
Guys, hit him up at Patrick Renna on Twitter and Instagram. Look out for Glow season 3. Where you living now, man?
I live in Las Feliz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
just
you're
in
out
Los
here,
Angeles,
and he's still doing it, guys, and we're really happy for you, man. 25 years later.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. myself.
No, it's amazing.
That I can't
25 years later, the movie was released April 7th, 93.
And you know what, man?
And you
I
look
know
terrific.
I know you don't want to say it, but I'll say it. When I look back at the movie, you're the fucking star of the movie, dude.
Oh, well,
right?
thank you.
Nah? I mean, you got the most memorable lines, the most quotable guy in the cast. You're the scene stealer.
There you go.
As they say in the barrio.
The
Scene
stealer.
He stole the lines
That's what
from
it was.
Benny the Jet, dude.
At Patrick Renna, if you want to say what's up and thank him for being on the show. Sandlot 25-year anniversary, and we look forward to seeing you on Glow, man.
Yeah, it'll
it's
be
gonna be fun.
All right.
Patrick
Thanks,
Renna,
guys.
everybody.
All right, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thanks to Ralph Macchio. Thanks to Martin Lawrence, Patrick Renna. We hope you enjoyed our
Thanks,
So
guys.
Hot Right Now
Thank you.
special.
Thanks for
Thank you,
coming back.
Spot. And thanks for reliving those fun moments with us.
And we'll see you soon enough. Until then, hey, enjoy your summer. It's so hot right now. Like Covino's nuts, like we said. Enjoy.
Batwing Duck.
Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Peace out. Later.
Shareholders around 4.6 shares of every share of XM they held. The shareholders approved the deal, and everything was looking rosy. Then the Debbie Downers started in. Oh, it'll be a monopoly. Consumers will get screwed. Oprah and Howard Stern will be in the same service?
Here she is. This is Brenda. Whoa, Brenda. Hello there.
Now, a year later, the DOJ has decided things won't be so bad if the deal goes through. Basically, they think satellite radio is screwed. The services face competition from FM radio, iPods, and mobile broadband. So a big old satellite radio monopoly isn't going to change much of anything. The reality is, neither company is doing very well in the market. The economy is slow, so people aren't buying as many cars with satellite radio. Subscribers are quitting at an increasing rate, and Sirius shares are down to $3. XM is doing a little better, hanging around $12 a share. Both companies did get a boost from the merger announcement, but the uncertainty of a year-long battle has taken its toll. The DOJ announcement was good news because the FCC probably won't go directly against the decision. They could put in some restrictions in there, but it will probably mirror what the two companies have already laid out. They have said they'll offer deals at the heart, and both Sirius and XM hardware will be